Well, it's clearly, like I said, it's committee.
You're just gonna have to try to find, you're gonna have to spread it across the domain and try to find 170. And,
And the one thing is, you know, if they make the selection this year, they can't change it until next year.
okay,
And obviously, those employees that want to stay on the plan that's very close to what they have now, are matching benefits, and they will see a little bit of an increase from $60 to $64.
okay. Well, at this point in time, I'm with option 3. I don't know how do y'all feel.
I think the employees ought to have some say so. I mean, if they want to pay $4 more,
You
just set
really,
from 60 to 64 to have a
We can
better
give them a
benefit.
washout plan, we can give
Y'all
them
really gonna get it better.
$50,000.
They ain't no deal, they ain't no deals.
Washout plan.
They ain't no deals.
you're gonna have
It's
less coming
insurance
out of your
anyway.
check, but you're gonna, you know, the insurance is not something that we control, guys. Bottom
You
line.
give them the option, they can opt to that other option.
If they want to pay more,
To
that's
take less,
They can
pay
do-
less and.
They can do that. Once they're in, they're in.
Let them make out.
Let's just-
We're sorry, we're not taking questions.
you know, we're talking about. We're talking about statements, of course, I call it fast track.
In the training classes or the meetings next week, could y'all make that point very clear, the
Yeah.
differences in between the two?
Oh, definitely.
They're not gonna
Definitely.
understand.
Everybody's gonna get a
I've
handbook.
got some that don't
Give them an
understand.
option.
I understand, I understand.
They want to pay $4.
I'll be there, I got you.
don't?
Everyone's gonna get an employee benefits handbook, there's a side-by-side comparison, I'm gonna have a PowerPoint go over that with them, then they meet with
I
the
mean, I
center.
understand the difference in the paycheck, but some of them don't understand when they go to the doctor.
Yeah, we're on, we deduct a month in advance. One of the reasons and things that drive this renewal is different in the marketplace, and discussing it with John and all, is United's trailing reporting in comparison to more real-time reporting with the Blue Cross network. They trail, getting a renewal out of them and all this, and you see what kind of renewal we got out of them. That is not an option. We couldn't find $500,000 if we wanted to.
That's not an option.
And
Well, basically,
absorbing the
they
170.
want it out. That basically is what they're saying. Either pay, but they've been taking some real hits. I mean, that's the reason why they're jumping ship on this other plan.
I asked the question, and I thought that Blue Cross definitely had the bigger discount in the area. And talking with some of the benefits consultants and stuff of that nature, they say that's true. They're driving the market in this area.
The Teachers Association, they all have Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's all state.
We all
state
changed from
insurance.
United Health to Blue Cross.
Right.
And United Healthcare is an option because they sued the state and put back in.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I want to say something here. Back about 3 or 4 months ago, I came down with a sinus infection on the weekend. I went to convenient care. Most people, oh, let's go to the emergency room, pay 4 times more, and I was out of there in 30 minutes. I might have had to sit there 3 or 4 hours, which has cost a lot more, which will save all of us money. People needs to be educated on that. Don't, if you got a little skin on your hand or a little cut, go to convenient care. And if that doctor says, oh, you need to go to the emergency room, he'll send you. Or
Actually,
Applicare.
Blue Cross, we're gonna promote this during open enrollment, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but Blue Cross has a thing called Live Health Online. And from your smartphone, your Skype, or tablet, whatever you want, you can actually log on and see a doctor. So if you have a sinus infection, you can pretty much diagnose yourself. You know what you need, but you gotta go through the hassle of getting a prescription. You can use the Live Health Online for a $25 or maybe a $15. I think they changed it to $15 copay. You pay online just like you would if you're buying something online. They will say, what pharmacy do you use? And they'll send us a prescription to your pharmacy. You go straight from your work or house to the pharmacy and pick up
I like
that.
that.
That does work.
Yeah.
I know gentlemen
Myra, you
on
get
that
all
program. Yeah, called the doctor, and the doctor called him back the next day to see how he was feeling.
Oh, and they will follow up with you via
Yeah,
email.
but see that
Yeah.
people in
Oh,
our
yes,
employees
you
need
just
to be
got one more.
educated to that.
You and Mr. Tillman gonna have to get together.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you, the long story
Yeah,
short
we know, we
is that it's an accounting mechanism. You know, it's clearly the commission's deal. You're matching the current benefit for one, you're giving them a dual option on number 2. But for $20 a paycheck, I would not want to take $5,200 of risk. healthy or not healthy.
Just have to
Anyway.
educate and let them make a decision.
Well, if them board makes a decision which way they want to go.
They'll make a
They
decision.
did by next week, so it's not.
You need to vote on it, we need to put on this.
Well, if you want to move it up and you're comfortable with it, you were given the information, like I said, everything's kind of hitting real time with us, because of our selection and our processes.
Yeah.
We're-
There's no easy answer to it. There's no easy answer to it. Just,
Commissioners, y'all okay with the option 3?
yes, sir.
Put it on
You
tonight.
put it on the next agenda.
That
We-
work?
We get close on time.
And it's a, like I said, it's a.
You can chastise us during the budget hearing.
I'm not chastising anybody. It's your decision. And if I like option 1, you like option 3, guess what? You win. I'm not on the plan to start with, never have been. So choice, multiple choice, A, B, C, D, whatever you want.
We'll take 3.
Hey, all of them.
We'll take 3.
But I appreciate their work. They have been timely. They, the committee's work and stuff of that nature, it's something, and it'll be on the fast pace, and it always is this time of year.
And the plan is to implement a strategic benefit plan, instead of looking at this on an annual basis.
Right.
I put a 5-year plan out and budget, kind of know what you're looking at
Right.
for a 5-year
That's a
plan.
good idea.
So we're gonna get together after July and start working on that.
Well, you turn on your TV any day and hear about insurance dollars. It ain't something that's going on.
I know.
It's gonna be here every year facing us. All of
I'm not getting a single payer system, but,
Well, I wonder if they're trying to get there.
Yeah.
I want to thank, I don't know who was on this committee, but I'd like to personally
There's
thank
one
them.
of them,
Ms.
Dr.
Ola,
Parham was
Dr.
on it,
Parham. Ms. Amber.
Amber was on it, and then some of the wellness committees, members were set in on some of our interviews, and they all did a great job.
Well, we appreciate it.
It's hard work.
This ain't a easy, this ain't a easy
He
task.
never wants to tell you good stuff. He always wants the bad and
Yeah.
he was on it too. He played
Well,
a very good
I'm
role.
bad, I'm a bad person.
No, he-
You have to-
He tells us he's good and bad.
He loves to post up. We're good then.
Thank y'all. Thank you. All right, Mr. Manager.
All right, employee requisition for our HR director. And,
Here we go with 2 losses.
that's the real world,
It
that's
is.
reality. And,
You had to get out of this,
You know what other people said about it?
you had to get back to Americana, nice, calm, civil society, without all the drugs and violence and all that's going on.
But we do want to move on that as quick as we can and start advertising and maybe, work through that process and there's a real world out there. My parents always told me, you're living in a fantasy land, son. There's a real world out there waiting on you. And I found it.
Mr. Manager, all we can do is proceed.
That's right, that's all we can do, is all we can do.
Move forward.
Move on.
The item on, the tax and the code section with Georgia on the abatement of taxes, I
Right.
think the opinion is gonna be, and I won't render her opinion, but, it's gonna be, we don't have that mechanism in place.
That's what I wanted.
And I spoke with Judge Gibson about it this morning, and I basically told him, we've actually looked at this issue before for other counties, not specific to, of course, a church requesting, but because a lot of times you'll have a property on the books that's been tried to be sold at a tax sale a couple of times, and either the taxes on it, or if there's a demolition lien, or a solid waste lien, or something else going on in some of our other counties that just make it where it can't be bought. And we were trying to figure out a way to clean this up, because to get those type properties off the books. So we looked at it before, I looked at it again, I talked to Judge Gibson this morning, I told him that statute that he had talked to you all about, that 48-5380, that's not what that statute's meant to do, and I think, we talked about that, and he seemed to be in agreement with that this morning, so.
Hopefully, we'll move forward with the land bank authority after we do a little more research and get it off the ground. Hope. Don't hold your breath.
The,
I wanna hold my breath on
but the tax commissioner said that was we did have the ability to do that, did he not?
Penalties and interest only.
We can't waive penalties and
Did he,
interest.
but he did say abatement, did he not? Okay.
Well, the only.
I'm not familiar with that. I hadn't talked to him about it.
And I talked with the judge about it too, and I told him, I said, the legislature exclusively gives us the authority to tax and impose a millage. And if you ever started the exemption and given exceptions to it, it would be a landfall effect like it is on every exemption that we've got that blow up the state's computers trying to calculate our digest every year because we have so many exemptions and exceptions and all this. And once they ever broke the egg and gave us the ability to exempt any kind of millage or taxation, they give us the authority to tax, so they're certainly not going to give a board of commissioners the authority to abate.
But a development authority has that ability
That's
to do so,
exactly
which they in turn put the tax burden on everyone else. I'm just saying, something's gotta be worked out in that area, that there cannot be everyone else pulling the wagon on tax abatements. Even if you're trying to recruit industries, you have to be reasonable and rational about how many years of abatements that are given to these new industries, because someone's picking up that bill, and it certainly isn't them. It's everyone else that's paying the taxes now. So you have to be more sympathetic to those who own property and those who are in business trying to survive all this. It's pretty easy to go out there and hand stuff out if you're not paying for it yourself.
But then speaking apples for apples, with the land bank authority, you are taking properties that are already burdens to the community, that in essence, the taxpayers are footing the bill because it's carrying your neighborhood down that you cannot sell at tax sales. And now with the land bank authority, you have a mechanism to put it in that authority to get it back on the tax sales.
I don't dispute that.
So that's the whole point though.
And I don't have a problem, we don't have a problem discussing the land bank.
So I don't need to hold my breath.
Yeah. You need to breathe, don't you? I'm just saying that we need to discuss it because we don't have enough information on it other than what's been printed. We don't have any experiences from a land bank, communities that have operated land banks. And we also, that goes back into creating new boards, just like you do on development authority. They're not accountable to anyone. So those are the things that we've worked in this commission to help change and have in the last 3 or 4 years. We've worked hard at making some changes at the development authority through our legislators who helped us get this done. I'm not saying we're against it. I'm saying that we haven't enough information to make
I want to make sure we get enough, because we've been talking about it for the last.
Yeah, we definitely, we need to make a move.
We're not, but I'm just saying, we're not gonna go down that same path of allowing a board to dictate to the community how much taxes they're gonna be paying, and there's no repercussions, there's no.
This type of board wouldn't do that, but once you get the board, once you get the information, you'll realize this type
Okay.
of board,
Well, that's-
this type of authority.
That may be true, but we still have to find out.
information.
Okay.
We need the information.
That's all I'm saying.
Whenever we have our joint city-county meeting, well, it's coming up shortly now.
Okay.
We need to talk
I
about that.
even work
We need to get that
with-
finalized and
We're
get
gonna
it,
get as much information as humanly possible to make it
how it
a
functions.
good decision.
Okay, I'm sorry. All next.
Next is, I think the attorney's got another meeting.
No, I actually had another attorney in my office cover that, because I
Okay.
figured I wouldn't have time.
All right.
And I didn't quite make it, so.
Well, you would have only been 2 minutes late.
You're never 2 minutes late to court, Paul. You obviously don't go to court.
Hey,
No, no.
I go to court all the time. Jury pool.
Okay. Okay, what's next? Is that it?
Well, you've got your reports, and if you have any
What
questions.
we're gonna talk about, the HR position, or do we need to do anything on that?
Well, the requisition, I thought we got verbal approval.
Okay, I just want to make sure I know that's on.
Yeah, it's on here.
I want to make sure we start
Everybody
the
okay
process.
with, go ahead and advertise?
That sounds like.
We don't need to be without a HR
That sounds like
director very long.
Catholics back in the old days. Yeah.
Going to get married.
She's not leaving because.
Going to the chapel.
Could've gone to Las Vegas for that.
I don't fly.
Oh, you don't fly? What else we got?
That it? Adam, attorney, you got anything for
I
us?
did not, sir.
Yes, sir. We have a public hearing at 4 o'clock. Cecil Brown. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
We're